Hello, welcome to this new installment of the Wrestling Analyst. Today I'm gonna go a little bit out of my way and make a little comparison between AEW and WWE, the product, what they give, and why some fans like WWE and some fans like AEW better. So here we go. Okay, so AEW versus WWE, or WWE versus AEW. Now, I go on X and I see a lot of trash talk between AEW fans and WWE fans. In fact, see a lot of trash talk from AEW fans about WWE product and a lot less the other way around. Now, I must admit, I haven't really watched AEW, so I don't really know if the product changed that much from when I saw it when it started back in 2019. Because I didn't get hooked by the product, so I don't watch it that much. But from what I hear, it hasn't really changed. And I'll make the time in the coming weeks and months to watch some AEW programming and revisit this video then. But here's my take right now. So let me start with WWE programming and style. WWE is more focused on storylines, in my opinion, even if the quality of wrestling has greatly improved in the last few years, especially since Paul Levesque took over creative department. PLEs have less matches, but longer matches since Paul took over, and that gives the feeling that the PLE matches are always very special, and they're a lot better than they were. I remember when Triple H was in charge of NXT and the Black and Gold era, and they would have NXT takeover before some of the big pay-per-views or big PLEs from the main roster, and I was blown away by the NXT takeover, and always thought that the NXT takeover were better shows than the pay-per-view or the PLE from their main roster that was taking place the next day. Now, WWE, they build their matches in order to get the maximum reaction possible when the finish occurs. You will get some big spots in the match, some false finishes to build the storytelling and the stakes of the match as you go, and even more until the end of the match, where when you get the winner, usually there's a big crowd reaction and the crowd erupts, or they just boo the finish because the guy that they hate so much won the match. Now, WWE wrestlers are more limited in their move sets, so you don't get this the syndrome of the match of the night or the move of the night, where every match has the same cool new move that some wrestlers saw uh, on the internet or something. Oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. And look, when I used to work and to wrestle here in the province of Quebec, I would see that a lot. That the guys, they just saw a cool new move in the on TV, on Raw, on SmackDown, on Nitro with back then, or on WCW Thunder, and they saw that wrestler that performed a new move, and the next show, uh, almost every match, I would see the same move performed, and that's what I call the move of the night syndrome. Get the new move, and everyone wants to do it. So, and that's one thing that WWE avoids very good by limiting the moves that their wrestlers can do. So, in essence, WWE, I find, is they have good wrestling. They're gonna have more. They're more storyline focused than big spots focused. So it's less spectacular, even though some of the moves are very spectacular. But it's more, they want to hook you up with the storylines more than the performance. Let's say, let's put it like that. So I'll go with AEW, and then I'll come back and compare the two products side by side. Let's say. So AEW is more focused on wrestling performances than on storylines. Now, I'm not saying that AEW doesn't have storylines, not at all. But I think they are more focused on spectacular moves, getting big crowd reactions, and they want to wow the crowd. And they want to have those AEW chants, AEW, 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 like when there was ECW. AEW is more violent and a lot less PG than WWE. Now, I recently watched a match between Tony Storm and Mariah May. Um, I don't remember which event it was, but it was a match where Tony Storm was bleeding a lot, and you won't see that in WWE unless it's an accident, unless it's accidental. AEW matches have a lot of spectacular moves during the match to get crowd reaction after crowd reaction after crowd reaction. Now the danger in that, and I saw that a lot when I wrestled back here in Quebec, is that some young guys, yeah, I'll make a pun there. Some young bucks, okay, uh, they want to place all their cool moves during the match, and it would be spectacular. It would be a 450 splash, and the guy kicks out. You know, those big finishes. That's big moves, spectacular. And when they get the finish, it's like, okay, the crowd goes, oh, the big move, wow, holy shit. And then big move after big move after big move, and the crowd will go, wow. And then the finish arrives, and like it's the crowd is like, okay, match is done. It's like, that's what I find AEW, the danger with AEW's product is. Now, like I said, I didn't watch AEW for a while. I watched my first episode this week, and I found that they still had a little bit the same thing, but I'm gonna watch a couple of weeks again more to see where it's going and everything. And I don't think that AEW puts limits on their moves or the rest of their wrestlers that much. A lot less than WWE. So they're more they're more at risk to that move of the night syndrome. So just to recap, I think WWE is more storyline. AEW is more big moves. Now, I'm not saying that WWE is more that doesn't have big moves and spectacular moves, and I'm not saying that AEW has no storyline. What I'm saying is that one is focused on storylines and the other one is focused on spectacular moves. One is more violent and one is more PG. So WWE is more PG, AEW is more violent. So where I'm going with all this is that both products they 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 have the same basic product, but they're two different products. You can love WWE, you can prefer AEW, you can like both of them for the reasons I said. If you're more into storylines, you're gonna like WWE better. If you're more like spectacular moves, you want spectacular wrestlers, you want performance, you want daredevil tactics, you're gonna like AEW better. Now, the danger with AEW, the style they have, not focusing maybe enough on storylines, is that okay? I'm just gonna go back again. During my career here in Quebec, there were some federations that don't have that much storylines, and one where when I started wrestling for one of those promotions, they invited me back then to say, okay, come and see and tell us what you think. And and at the end of the night, I went to them and said, look, wrestling is good. The wrestling is good. The wrestling is very good. But you didn't give me any reason to come back in 2 weeks. So the promoter goes to me and says, why? Why are you saying that? You just said that the wrestling is good. Yes, wrestling was great. The matches were good. Matches were good. But you're missing something. You're missing. You don't give any reason to the fan to come back in 2 weeks. You don't give him. You don't give him any incentive. You don't have stories. You don't give any reason for the fan to come back in 2 weeks because I want to see what's going to happen there. I want to see what's going to happen here. I'm going to see I'm going to happen to this guy. What I watched tonight is like a show in a camping ground. You just get there, set up a couple of matches. Thank you. Bye bye. I'm going to see you next year. When you want to have a crowd that's involved in your show and you want to grow that crowd, you have to give them something to want to see on your next show. Now, do you want to see the heel lose his belt? Could be. But you need to have something to hook them. And that's where I find the big difference between WWE and AEW. WWE has compelling storylines. Have more compelling storylines than AEW. And that's one thing that's 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 one reason why WWE crowds are always sellouts. And when I saw AEW Dynamite was in a small arena, well, it was at the 2300 arena in Philadelphia. It was packed, but it's smaller venue. Now, WWE went to the 2300 arena. They went there with their NXT brand. NXT is the same thing as WWE. It's more storylines. Yes, some of the moves are spectacular, and I just think about Sol Ruka's Soul Snatcher. It's a freaking spectacular move, but you don't see Soul Snatchers two, three, four, five times in a match. You see it once, and that's it. But what I mean is, you see spectacular moves in NXT, and when WWE went to the 2300 arena in Philadelphia, they went there with NXT. They didn't go there with the main roster because it's not a big enough venue for the main roster. For NXT was perfect. But see the difference there. AEW has been running for 6 years now, and they still don't draw. Well, they must draw big crowds sometimes, especially in Europe, but they don't fill out 15, 20,000 person arenas right now after 6 years. And they barely can compete with NXT in viewership. So I'm not bashing AEW. I'm just saying that WWE has more people because they have more compelling storylines and they give more reason for the people to tune in every week to see what's happening in this storyline. Let's see what's happening in this storyline. What's happening there? What's happening there? What's happening there? And I find that AEW has less in that department. But like I say, I respect people that like AEW better. I personally I like WWE better. But you can like both of them. But what I don't like is like AEW people, AEW fans bashing on WWE products, saying it's not good. The product is good. It's good for some. You don't like it. It's okay. You have the right to not like it because it's not for you. Just like some people in the WWE, they don't like AEW, and that's okay. It's not for them. Like me, I prefer WWE. I'm not, and that's why I'm concentrating my podcasts or whatever you want to call my things. I'm concentrating more on WWE because that's the product I want to cover. Maybe someday, if I get hooked a little bit more by AEW, I'll start doing uh, chronicles and things about AEW. But for now, I'm not there. So just remember that if you don't like a product, you don't have to bash it. It's just not for you. That's it. It's not for you. It's not made for you. You like one better? Watch this one. But you don't have to bash the other one. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and tell me if you agree with me, disagree with me. Let's have let's have some constructive dialogue. So anyway, if you have any question, you want me to cover something, just write to me, and I'll answer your questions. Until next time, this is Wrestling Analyst signing off, and have a great day.